Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So again, I'm shooting from my phone because I've had a lot of crazy things happen over the weekend and I didn't get a chance to shoot any videos at home. So today is going to be another installment of Anti-Scientology School where we are covering L. Ron Hubbard's Dianetics. Oh, just dropped that out of there. And we are still in book 1, which is The Goal of Man. And today we're covering chapter 4, which is the 4 dynamics. So stay tuned and find out what is. Okay guys, so like I said in the intro, we're going to be covering another chapter in Dianetics. I'm just getting my notes together. And yes, I'm shooting on my phone from my office at work. So let's get started. So in the beginning parts of the chapter right here, Hubbard opens with some ramblings about early research, which again, there is no evidence of any research anywhere, but I digress. And he admits that he was focused on people, like individuals, not groups of people, but individuals. And he also admits that this was a mistake, so somebody marked this down on a calendar. L. Ron Hubbard admitted to a mistake. Anyway, he said because all concepts can move from personal to societal very easily. So he states that he realized that the individuals get their concepts from the universe. So like we're all interconnected. It's kind of a weird theory. There are some people that still believe this, but I digress. He then rambles on about the universe equating to mankind and how people live in groups because of this connection to the universe. So he says, finally, after that rambling, we just jumped to sex. So here we go. Finally, it was recalled that some had thought that man's entire activity and all his behavior could be explained by assuming that he lived for sex alone. So we go rambling about being connected to the universe to boom, sex, and why not? Just why not? And that's what I'm talking about, how he jumps from subject to subject. Is like we're talking about everybody being connected to the universe, and now all of a sudden, boom, sex. Makes total sense. So he goes on to say an examination was made of what had been attempted. It had been assumed that man survived only for himself as an individual. It had been computed that he survived only for the group, the pack, for society. It had been postulated that he survived only for mankind, and finally it had been theorized that he lived only for sex. None worked alone. So again, he's talking about these equations and this research, and nothing is documented. There's no documentation. There's no citations provided. Nothing. It's just him saying words. He goes and says, a new computation was made on the survival dynamic, exactly for what was man surviving. All 4 of these factors, self, sex, group, and mankind, were entered into a new equation. Again, what equation? What's the original equation? What's this new equation? How are you equating? What are your variables? And what amounts are you using? None of that is provided. And now it was found a theory was in hand which worked. It explained all observed phenomenon, and it predicted new phenomena which were discovered to exist. It was scientific equation, therefore. Again, what's your research base? What is your control group? What are the variables you're testing? What are these things that you are, quote, putting into an equation, quote, researching, quote, being scientific? There is nothing. Sorry, I harp on this because it's very, very evident that this is just pulled straight out of his ass. And it is ridiculous to believe that anything about it is scientific. So he goes on to say, from the survival dynamic in this fashion were evolved four dynamics. By survival dynamic was meant the basic command to survive, which underlay all activity. By dynamic was meant one of the four purpose divisions of the entire dynamic principle. The four dynamics were not new forces, they were subdivisions of the primary force. So he is saying that he's going off of the command to survive. Now, survive has become a dynamic, and okay. But then he also says that dynamics are subdivisions. So how can survive become a dynamic and then have four dynamics that are subdivisions of a subdivision of what main division? But okay. So he goes into breaking down the dynamics. So dynamic one is the urge towards ultimate survival on the part of the individual and for himself. It includes his immediate symbiotes, which he says the Dianetic meaning for symbiote is extended beyond the dictionary definition to mean, quote, any or all life or energy forms which are mutually dependent for survival. The atom depends on the universe on the atom. The extension of culture for his own benefit and name immortality. Okay, that could be taken as he has a survival for himself and his family and his need to procreate. But it gets worse, because we go on to dynamic 2. Is the urge of the individual toward ultimate survival via sex act, the creation of and rearing of children. It includes their symbiotes, the extension of culture for them, and their future provision. But again, dynamic 1 kind of means the same damn thing. So you have two dynamics that mean the same thing. Dynamic 3 is the urge for the individual toward ultimate survival for the group. It includes the symbiotes of the group and the extension of its culture. So pretty much we have individual, need to procreate and have a family, and society. Dynamic 4 includes the urge of the individual toward ultimate survival of all mankind. It includes the symbiotes of mankind and the extensions of its culture. So pretty much you have individual, need to procreate and have children, raise a family, the societal group that they're in, and then of course all mankind. Because why not? Life, the atom, and the universe, and energy itself are included under the symbiotic classification. Because of course it is. Because we're just pulling this shit straight out of our fucking ass. But then he goes on to say, none of these dynamics are necessarily stronger than any of the others. Each is strong. They are the four roads a man takes to survival. And the four roads are actually one road. And one road is actually a spectrum of thousands of roads contained within the four. They are all in terms of past, present, and future, in that the present may be a sum of the past and the future may be the product of the past and the present. So instead of four roads, it's one road, but it's not one road, it's 1,000 roads. It does not make any sense. It is the insane ramblings of a paranoid schizophrenic. And it's crazy. Because he also says that these dynamics are fluid. They kind of flow into each other. There's no strict divisions, but then you have everything being roads that lead into one. And they lead into one, but they lead into thousands. I don't think so. I do not think so. Okay, so then he goes on to say, now it happens that these four dynamics can be seen to compete one with another in their operation within the individual or a society. There is a rational reason for this. The phrase, quote, social competition is the compound of aberrated behaviors and sentient difficulties. So pretty much he's just saying that if there are issues with the dynamics, it's because you're aberrated and you need to fix your aberration. He's just, okay. Him special. Him special. The optimum solution for any problem would be a solution which achieved a maximum benefit in all dynamics. This means that a man determining upon some project would fare best if he benefited everything concerned in the four dynamics as his project touched them. Okay. Like, yes, if more companies would look at things as how it impacts others, things would be a lot better. But they don't do that. They look at the bottom dollar, which is money, and money makes the world go round. So then he goes on to say that there is a survival conduct pattern. He says it is built upon this equation. Again, no equation is provided, no citation, no nothing. For the optimum solution, it is the basic equation of all rational behavior and is an equation in which a clear functions. It is inherent to man. Okay. So he just keeps on rambling. He talks about best solution for solving the problem again, where he's talking about how it impacts yourself, your family, your societal group, and mankind, which is never going to work. And then he goes on to discuss how Napoleon and Caesar both fell because they weren't looking at all four areas of life. And then he concludes this very short chapter with, on an aberrated basis, the equation is still valid but complicated by irrationalities which have no part of the solution. Many solutions are bad merely because of false educational data or no data at all, like your entire book, your entire basis, and your entire religion. But hey, go off then. But these are still solutions. In the case of aberrated solutions, the dynamics are actually and actively impeded, as will later be outlined in full. So, pretty much, if you don't buy into his line of bullshit and you don't think the way he does and you do not accept everything that he says as gospel, you are aberrated and you can never fully understand life. You can never fully achieve anything, and you will always have problems. Life is problems. Everybody has problems. So I don't think your wonderful made up solutions have done anything for that. But anyway, so that was chapter 4 in book 1 of Dianetics. Next time we're going to go into chapter 5, which is summary. This is a summary of book 1. Oh, look, hey, there's an equation. Fucking mark me shocked. And then we're going to move into book 2, which is the single source of all inorganic, mental, and organic psychosomatic ills. That's going to be fun. And it looks like it's going to be rather long. But so far, that is what we have. Let me know down in the comment section down below what you think of this chapter, what you think of my interpretations of what he said. But also be mindful, there are no citations, there's no equations provided, there's no research cited, nothing. So let me know what you think down in the comment section. In the description box, there are 4 ways to support the channel. It's Patreon, PayPal, Minds, and Cash App. And if you could, please do. All that money is going to go right back into the channel. And also, I will have the book information listed down below, as well as all my social media, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and email. And if you guys would like to, you could reach out and discuss your questions, opinions, or give me suggestions. Anyway, guys, that's going to end today's video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.